for life.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's me, it's G, it's DMC, the undefeated, undisputed Pokemon Showdown champion. That's right, it's the Maverick, Mark Daniels, and I'm here with my LCF Little Cup Federation Draft Analysis. I was invited to participate in this draft league, something I've never done before. I got invited through Twitter from a gentleman that I didn't know at the time, but the last few days that we've been drafting, actually it's been about a week now, it's me and 8 other guys. Got to know these guys quite a bit, which is pretty cool, all cool guys. I'm not sure exactly how many of these other guys are YouTubers as well. Not all our channels are linked. We have a spreadsheet, not all of them are linked in there just yet. But I know there's about 5 of us, of the 9, at the very least, that are YouTubers. I'm going to try to link all their channels in the description below, so you guys can definitely check them out. I know at least 2 of the guys have draft analysis as well, so you can definitely check them out and see what they were thinking through the draft. I can tell you what I was thinking. First off, I didn't know what the hell I was doing because I'm new to this format. Although I've watched other YouTubers participate in like the UCL type format, and I was pretty excited to try it out. I've always wanted to at least participate in one of these and see how things played out. Drafting the Pokemon, it's all interesting. A little bit of a mind game. You know, do you want this pick that you really want on your team to go another round? Do you think it'll last another round? Should you grab it now and not get something else? It's weird. It's interesting. I guess I've never participated in something like that before. So I was actually 3rd pick, and the way we did our picks was there was a random number generator, and the first person picked 1, and it would go all the way down to the 9th person, and the 9th person would pick 2 because he would pick his first round and his second round, and then we would flip the draft order from there, and then when the first person went last round, goes last in the second round, he picks 2, etc., etc., until we picked all 12 of our Pokemon. We voted and decided that we wanted to do 12 Pokemon. To me, I was indifferent either way. I know typically it's 10 Pokemon. 12 gives you a little bit more to mess with, but honestly, once I got to like the final couple picks, I really didn't know what to pick. I was just kind of picking something to pick it, and you'll see that when we get through our team here. So I have 2 separate rosters here. I'm just using Pokemon Showdown Team Builder as a visual reference to show you guys what we got and kind of talk through my choices here. First off, the logo that you saw at the beginning, the intro, the long intro that I have there, that is 100% a rip-off of Bullet Club, Crocodile Club. The name of my team is the Kansas City Crocodiles. I am from Kansas, obviously, and Crocodile is one of my favorite Pokemon of all time, my favorite from 5th generation by far, and thought it was a great representation for me. Another gentleman used Standile as his mascot, so great minds think alike there. But yeah, trust me, the intro won't be as long every time. I have a shorter version that's about 10 seconds long, and I'll put that at the end of this video. You guys can check it out. But I just wanted the longer intro because it's cool, man. It's a really cool intro, and it's basically, like I said, it's 100% rip-off of the Bullet Club from New Japan Wrestling. If you haven't checked that out before, you can kind of Google and just kind of see that my logo looks kind of like their logo. I kind of try to base it around that logo, and their Titantron when they come out kind of looks like what I did there in a simple way. I did it very simply, but still very cool. I also have the Crocodile mascot that I have. I have a colored version as well, not just a black and white version for that particular logo. The hat he's wearing is a Kansas City Royals hat. Obviously, Kansas City's baseball team. I don't watch baseball, but I thought it was a cool representation. So let's talk about the team. That's what you guys are here for. I talked enough about that nonsense. So let's talk about my first pick. So this is actually the draft order that I chose from 1 through 6, and then the other team that I have built just to showcase these guys will be the other 6 that I have, 7 through 12. So the first Pokemon I chose was Chinchou. Again, I was 3rd pick. That might be an interesting 3rd pick for other people, but I know the power of Chinchou through playing Little Cups on my Showdown Sundays and Wizard at War videos, as well as Friday Night Fights, which you guys can always check out weekly. And Chinchou is a very versatile Pokemon. It has 2 abilities that I find to be very, very interesting. Volt Absorb, Water Absorb. He can mind game your opponent so well, because even if they say I have my Growlithe out, right, for instance, just to kind of as a reference point, and they want to use a water attack, they have to think twice about it, because if I switch to Chinchou, especially if he has some damage on it already, I might be running Water Absorb. They don't know that. Same vice versa. If I have Fletchling now, they want to use an electric attack. I might have Volt Absorb. So it kind of makes it to where they don't want to use either of those attacks. And then if Chinchou is out there, and I'm going against like an electric type Pokemon or a water type Pokemon, they may have to force a switch because they're not sure exactly what I'm capable of because of my ability. But it makes me immune to either electric or water. So that's going to play a big part of my team, I think, because I can kind of build my team around that. And if you kind of see my team here, and we're going to talk about each individual Pokemon, but you know me, I like to have like a nice solid core. And I actually built 2 cores, and you'll see that in my other part of the team. This is my Water, Grass, Fire core. I also have a Steel, Fairy, Dragon core, and we'll get to that in a little bit. For just as a basic team build, maybe I'm not totally ready to prepare for a team, and I don't really know what to do. Like, they got so many different options. I can essentially choose one of my bases for a core to kind of build a team around, and then kind of go from there. That's kind of what I went for. But Chinchou is my first Pokemon. Again, such a versatile Pokemon, such a great line of different abilities, so much type coverage. Things like Dazzling Gleam, any of the hidden power moves. I can even run it as a support cleric in a sense. I can use Heal Bell, Volt Switch. It could be a pivot, which I'll definitely probably be using most games as a Volt Switch because it's a great way to get a free attack off and switch in and check things. I can also run Thunder Wave if I want to cripple some opponents. Thunderbolt, of course. A lot of different options there as far as type coverage goes. Signal Beam as well if I really want to run that. Ice Beam, of course, such a great move. Such a wide array of moves, and I love Chinchou on this team. And I wanted my first pick to be a strong pick. Now, this Chinchou may have went to the 2nd or 3rd round. I don't know. I doubt it, but I definitely wanted to make sure I got him. And then my second choice to me was a no-brainer. So I've seen that a lot of Pokemon being picked in the 1st round. We see Mienfoo go down, Volibee, of course. Some of these very powerful staple Pokemon in Little Cup teams. I decided I want something a little bit more defensive, something that can possibly carry me through the game, but also get rid of things like Sturdy, get rid of like Focus Ashes. This guy is a hazard monster. First off, very defensive, but I could build him offensive if I really want to, just to take my opponent by surprise, and I might. But another thing I can run with this guy, so typically you run Eviolites, on your Little Cup teams. Maybe run Rocky Helmet. Maybe I can do that. I can do that with mixed Iron Barbs and do a bit of damage just from recoil damage on him. But he's gonna be my hazard setter. I have 2, maybe even 3, hazard setters or Pokemon that can potentially set up hazards for me. In fact, I have quite a few, and you'll see that in my next step. We have Trubbish. I think Drillbur can also learn Stealth Rock. Stealth Rock as well. I also have a Tyrant, spoiler alert. He can also set Stealth Rocks, I believe. So I have quite a few Pokemon that are capable of setting up some hazards. So that allows me to be a little bit more versatile with my team if I need to be, if I really want hazards. Maybe I don't want to run hazards, but I can. Obviously, the basic stuff for this guy, you run things like Bullet Seed or even Seed Bomb, and Spike, Stealth Rock, Thunder Wave. He can learn Knock Off. Such a versatile Pokemon as well. Knock Off is such an important ability. Get rid of Eviolites if they're going to switch in. Now, obviously, his biggest weakness is Fire Pokemon, and I know that. But I'm not too worried about that because first I have Chinchou. Secondly, I have Growlithe, which we'll get to in a minute, but he has the ability Flash Fire, and he can be immune to fire as well, which is very cool for this team. So Ferroseed is going to be a great Pokemon, I think, with the mix of being so defensive, with a little bit of offense, and of course being a very important hazard setter. Now, that being said, I knew right after I chose Ferroseed that one thing I'd have to worry about as well is hazards. I mean, that's a big part of the metagame in any Pokemon tier as far as like Smogon tiers go. A lot of people run Stealth Rocks, a lot of people run Spikes, Toxic Spikes, etc., maybe even Leech Seed. I needed a Rapid Spinner, and I wanted one of the best, so I called a friend. I said, Drillbur, I need your help, buddy. Drillbur is one of the best, in my opinion, maybe even the best in Little Cup for a Rapid Spinner. Obviously, Rapid Spin, he's got a wide array of moves as well. Earthquake, Poison Jab. I mean, I can get access to Horn Claws if I really wanted to. Shadow Claw for attack if I think they're going to switch in a Ghost Pokemon to block my Rapid Spin. Boom, Shadow Claw. I got access to Sword Stance if I want to. X-Scissor, Toxic. Maybe I want to run Toxic. Maybe I run a Protect for checking moves. There's a lot of things that he can do, and I think he's going to be a big part of my team. Obviously, Break as well. I'm a huge fan of Drillbur, and I think that there's a lot that he can bring to the table. I can run Choice Scarf on if I really just want to outspeed people. You know, I can run the Eviolite, of course, which is standard in any little. We can run Eviolite on anybody, and it's going to be a pretty solid item. I can run Assault Vest on somebody just to power up my defense. You know, why not? I mean, why would you run this though? Honestly, if you have Eviolite, let's be fair. But I was just looking at the item. Obviously, Eviolite's a much better item. It does the same exact thing, but you're not restricted. Leftovers, Focus Sash, etc. I think it's going to be a cool Pokemon too. Now he brings a water weakness to the table, of course, and a few other weaknesses that Feral Seed and Chinchou take care of, no problem. I'm not really worried about that so much. As long as I play my card right as well as I make my predictions right, it should be okay. Mold Breaker is really cool too because this Pokemon ignores abilities of other Pokemon. So if they got Levitate, I can still hit them with Earthquake, and I think that's a tremendous, tremendous thing. And if I'm going against maybe a Sandstorm team, and there's a couple guys that drafted, you know, things like Hippopotamus or Sandshrew, Sandile, they may use Sandstorm. They might take advantage of their abilities. I can maybe tech that and use, you know, Sand Rush to make my speed double because of Sandstorm. You know, there's a few different possibilities there. Or even Sand Force if I want to do some more damage. I think they're going to run a Sandstorm team. Next we have Growlithe, my fire Pokemon for my core. Now I wanted to get Growlithe in the 3rd round, but I really was like, you know what, I gotta get Drillbur. There's a few Pokemon that can do what he does. Ponyta, which was already picked. Houndour and Growlithe, and I wanted either one of those 3 for sure on my team. I like Growlithe a lot because I like his moveset. I like the ability to have close combat, Wild Charge, and Flare Blitz, which I showcased in my Little Cup videos this week because I did a Showdown Sunday and Wednesday Night Wars based on Little Cup. He has access to Morning Sun, so he can heal up if he wants to. By somehow I make him able to live attacks. That's the hard part here, you know. You can run things like Will-O-Wisp, Toxic, Substitute if I really wanted to, Roar if I think they're gonna set up, or if I just want to switch them out on a bunch of Stealth Rocks. I can run Roar. That's a fun little tech that you can run with it. Crunch is a great move to have against Ghastlies, which I really wanted to draft Ghastly. I missed the boat on Ghastly, but that's fine. It happens. You can't get everything you want in a draft format for sure, but I think I got quite a bit of what I wanted. Outrage, if I really wanted to run Outrage, I think Growlithe is going to be a tremendous one. Obviously, Flash Fire will be primarily what I run, but if I'm not worried about Fire Pokemon, maybe I run Intimidate. Maybe I can lower some attacks on some Pokemon. You know, Justify. When I get damaged by a Dark move, it powers up my attack. I don't know if that really will come in handy so much, but maybe we'll give it a shot. Maybe that'll be an ability that we can kind of sneak in there and try to really get some advantages off of that. Next we have Fletchling. So with my team, obviously I have a couple weaknesses to ground type Pokemon. So having a strong flying Pokemon is definitely needed, I think, on any team, especially when it comes to this format when you get 12 Pokemon. So I really wanted a strong flying Pokemon. And Volibee, I believe at this point, was the only flying Pokemon taken. I had my eyes on a couple. I had Fletchling in mind. I had Starly in mind. There's quite a few strong flying Pokemon. Obviously, Murkrow's banned. Murkrow would be tremendous. You guys already know, I love Honchkrow. But I think Fletchling's a great choice. And one thing else I was lacking a little bit too, because we have a lot of utility thus far, right? Not a lot of carries, not a lot of sweepers, and I thought Fletchling would be able to fit that bill as well. So we got access to Gale Wings, right? So if this Pokemon is at full HP, its flying type moves have priority increased by 1, which means I can get priority on things like Acrobatics. Acrobike is a card in the training card game, as well as a bike in the actual game. I played a lot of card game earlier, so Acrobike was the one. And Big Pex prevents other Pokemon from roaring this Pokemon's defense stat. Not really the ability I'll probably use. Gale Wings will probably primarily what I use. Probably Acrobikes on top of that. Acrobatics on top of that. I could run. That's pretty much what I'm going to run. Acrobatics. He doesn't have Braver. I was looking to see if he had Braver. It doesn't look like he does. I can get Aerial Ace, but Acrobatics is going to be the move I want. Maybe Sword Stance. Flame Charge is a nice little move. Powers up my speed. Frustration has Stab. So does Return. Roost I can heal up. I could run a Rest Sleep Toxic if I wanted to, but kind of boils when you have Roost, access to Roost, you know. Tailwind I could use and maybe take advantage of. U-Turn is a great move. Another pivot move similar to Chinchou's Volt Switch. Toxic Taunt, I think has an interesting moveset. Quick Attack 2 has Stab. If I if I need a priority move, that might be what I run. Protect, I can check moves out as well. Agility, I probably wouldn't run Agility. Obviously, I think with my ability, Sword Stance is a great addition to it. If I think they're going to switch Sword Stance, they might be able to try to outspeed me, but then boom, acrobatics does so much damage. Doubles when I have no item. So it's going to be doing 110 base with priority if I have full HP. So if I don't have stealth rocks or anything in front of me, which obviously drill burst is going to be very important for that portion of the game, I can do a lot of damage with priority, and I think that's a tremendous thing to have. So the next Pokemon is Trubbish. So I wanted to have something for fighting Pokemon. You know, Ferroseed has a bit of a weakness to fighting, and fighting things like Mienfoo and Pancham, Timber, they could cause a problem for my team. They run a lot of different moves that have a lot of different type coverage. You know, a lot of them can learn Earthquake, a lot of them can learn Rock Slide or Stone Edge. You know, a lot of them could have like the Elemental Punches, Fire Punch, or even just a fighting move with bodies for Ferroseed in general. So I needed something for that. Trubbish can resist fighting, so he has great synergy with Ferroseed, and he can also set as well. He has access to things like Clear Smog if I want to eliminate stat changes for someone trying to sweep up on me. Explosion would be a fun little tech to do if I want to just do a tremendous amount of damage. Drain Punch, primarily with him, let's see, his attack is better than his special attack. I just wanted to double check it before I said that. Drain Punch is great, and you can run a special attack offensively if you want to as well. So I don't see an issue with that. Pain Split if I just want to stall out a little bit, although in Little Cup you're not going to see Pain Split being as useful as maybe a different format. Rock Blast, Seed Bomb, Sludge Bomb, Sludge Wave, obviously stab moves, but in the special offensive, Gunk Shot would be what I would run, even if it has 80% accuracy. Still a great move. And the cool thing is, we also have Aftermath as an ability. We can even run like Rocky Helmet on him on top of that. So if they KO me with the contact move, they can lose 1/4 of their max HP plus, I believe, a 6th from Rocky Helmet, a 6th. So they lose quite a bit there. Sticky Hold. This Pokemon can't lose its held item, so Knockoff wouldn't work against me, so I can actually switch it on Knockoffs, which is quite nice. Stench, less chance of flinch. But, is that right? Less chance of flinch? Oh, no. I have a chance of flinch. I thought so. I was like, wait, I think I read that wrong as I was switching out of that. But, I probably wouldn't use that ability too much. Obviously, these two would be primarily what I would probably use, depending on the matchup. But, I think this guy's pretty cool too. So, Toxic Spikes. As part of a setup as well for hazards. I can poison the Pokemon and Spikes. So I have Spikes and Toxic Spikes. No Stealth Rock, sadly. If I did, that'd be tremendous. But Haze is another move to get rid of stats as well. So let's go to the next 6 Pokemon. These 6 I think are going to be great. I think other 6 are good too, but not as good as you. So talking about Pancham, that's who I drafted. So at this point, I knew I was going to need a fighting Pokemon. The two of the bigger ones were gone. Mienfoo and Timber, but there's still Pancham, waiting in the mist. And I think he's a tremendous Pokemon. Again, he has Mold Breaker, ignores effects of Pokemon, but one ability that I'm really excited for is Scrappy. I can hit Ghost types with normal types or fighting type moves. So if I go against a Ghost type and he's trying to switch it on me, I can hit him with a fighting move here. He has a wide array of moves as well. Great type coverage. Things like Zen Headbutt, his Elemental Punch is super powered. Swords Dance, of course, Shadow Claw. Rocks like Power Punch, I can use it just to get a boost on my attack with some damage. Parting Shot's a really cool thing for him because it's another pivot move. It doesn't do damage, but what it does is it lowers their attack and special attack by 1, and then I get to switch. So it weakens them, and then say I can switch into my my Ferroseed, or my Trubbish. Things like as Ice Punch, Iron Head, Knockoff as well. Having access to Knockoff is so huge. Foul Play. A lot of these moves I probably wouldn't use. He's a fighting Pokemon, so you'll probably see Drain Punch for sure. Crunch maybe if I'm going against some Ghastly or something, I might use that. Gunk Shot for Grass type Pokemon if I want to try to do a little bit more damage than like a Fire Punch. Fire Punch. So great coverage again. Roar if I want to use Roar to switch people out through rocks or anything like that. He's another person that can do that. He can run Rest and Sleep Talk, right? No Sleep Talk? Yeah, Sleep Talk and Rest. So he's got a lot of options. Hyper Voice, I probably would use that. I just wanted to say Hyper Voice. But also another tremendous Pokemon. Tyrant. This guy is really cool. And I'm surprised he actually made it this far. Now he's not like a top tier per se, but I think he has the potential to be. And I think not necessarily with the strong jaw, though strong jaw, not a bad ability either. It can do extra damage, but sturdy. You can run sturdy berry juice on this guy. Similar to what we saw with Judy in Wizard at Wars video that we went against. Bodied like almost 3 of my Pokemon on his own. You can live through so much as long as there's no hazards up. So say I start with Timer, right? And I just like, you know what? I'm just going to try and body his team real quick. Dragon Dance. Whatever he throws at me, I'm living. So sturdy, boom, I go down to 1 HP, doesn't matter what he hits me with. Boom, full health with berry juice, and then I can survive yet another attack with sturdy. So if I don't think they're going to have a priority move, or like Sucker Punch or anything like that, which is a priority move, but you get what I'm saying. I could use another Dragon Dance if I really want to, and drop some Earthquakes, drop an Outrage if I want to, Stealth Rocks. He's got Stealth Rocks too. Super Power. He's got some great moves. Zen Head, but I mean, and if you run the Strong Jaw, he's got the Elemental Fangs, so you can run those as well with that if you really want to. But I'm not going to. Dragon Claw is another great stat move, of course. Rock and Dragon is an interesting typing. Ice really hurts my Pokemon here, but like I said, I can live essentially 2 attacks with the Berry Juice Sturdy combo. So I can get a free Dragon Dance off almost every time, which is huge because it boosts up my attack and speed. So then I should be able to outspeed that Pokemon, right? So I'm going to be able to hit them, live another attack. And as long as they don't have priority, I'm going to be fine. So Tyrant's going to be a great Pokemon. He would be part of the Dragon Fairy Steel Core, the Steel Pokemon being Feral Seed, Fairy Pokemon being Togepi. Now, I got sniped a couple times throughout this draft, and the Pokemon that I got sniped on were Fairy Pokemon. I wanted Spritzy really bad for my team. In my opinion, Spritzy is probably the best Fairy Pokemon in this format. Great Cleric, great support Pokemon, also a great offensive Pokemon too, if you need it to be. Snubbull would be number 2 in my book. Snubbull got sniped for me literally the round I was going to pick him. And then we have Togepi. So Togepi was my 3rd choice. Togepi, I knew would make it to a few rounds, but he's not that great of a Pokemon in comparison to those guys. But he can still get the job done. Lacks a bit on the stats side, especially as far as like offense goes, and defense. He can get bodied pretty hard, but you know what? I believe in Togepi, and I think Togepi's moveset's pretty solid. So we have extra sensory for Psychic, Dazzling Gleam, Baton Pass if I just want to use this as a pivot I can, or if I want to use it to with conjunction with Nasty Plots, I can. And I think that's the only one he has, Nasty Plot, right? Yeah, Nasty Plot's the only move he has the power of his stats. But I can Nasty Plot. Baton Pass is something that's special offensive, maybe something like a Sandy Gas, which is kind of odd to say, or maybe Growlithe's not special offensive. Maybe even Chinchou. Why not? Chinchou could do a lot of damage. Access to Flamethrower and Fire Blast, which is cool. Encore could be a great move to have. Make someone locked into a move and get a free switch out. Grass Knot's pretty solid. Heal Bell, I can use Heal Bell to heal status off my Pokemon, which is tremendous. Something that's very important to my team, and I really need a Cleric of sorts. Does have Wish, so it has Wish and it has Heal Bell, just like Spritzy does. Soft Boil can heal itself, substitute Thunderwave. A huge wide variety of moves. Trick, I could switch items. So I think Togepi is also a tremendous Pokemon as well. And now let's move to Sandy Gas. So at this point, I knew I needed a Ghost Pokemon because I want to be able to block Rapid Spinners because I have a lot of Pokemon that want to set up hazards, and it's a big part of my team. So I decided to go with Sandy Gas. Now I wanted Ghastly originally, but the problem is he got picked really quickly. Of course he did. Ghastly's a tremendous Pokemon. And I wanted Ghastly, but you can only pick so many, Pokemon in the first couple rounds before it gets drafted away. That was really the Ghost Pokemon I was looking at. Then it came down to the wire. I knew Sandy Gas would last a while because I think people would sleep on him, and they did. And maybe for the right reasons. He's not that great of a Pokemon, but I think he's great in terms of look at these attacks he has. He's got a wide variety of attacks. I proved that with my Wizard at Wars and Showdown Sunday videos that I did this week. Things like Giga Drain, Earth Power. He has Destiny Bond, which is interesting. Giga Drain, Psychic, Shadow Ball, of course, for the stab. That's Toxic. Shore Up, heals, depends on the weather, but he can't heal himself. He can be tanky. His ability is okay. Not 100% satisfied with his ability. He still gets bodied by water Pokemon quite a bit. But what it does is when he gets hit by a water type move, it raises his defense by 2 stages. Now, in one of my battles that I did, I think it was on Wednesday, I did live a water attack and got to survive an additional attack because of the extra defensive boost, and got to body 2 Pokemon because of it. And he's gonna be great, man. I think people slept on him a little bit, but I think he's gonna be great for my team. He's gonna be able to block the rapid spins that he needs to do, and he's gonna throw out some powerful moves. Plus, ground type, resistant to electric type, ghost type, obviously resistant to fighting and normal types, could come in handy as well. Let's talk about Alolan Meow. So this one was an interesting pick. So I wanted to pick a dark Pokemon because I do have some Pokemon that are weak, especially mostly Pancham, that could be weak against psychic Pokemon. So I needed a dark Pokemon to absorb those psychic attacks, or at least make them think twice about hitting psychic. And the Pokemon I originally wanted was Inkay at this point in the draft. Obviously, there's a few other dark Pokemon that are much better. Pokemon like Ponyard, but they got picked so early, I didn't have a chance to pick them. But Alolan Meowth does pretty well as well. One of his most appealing factors is the fact that he has an ability called Technician. What this does is it makes Pokemon power moves of 60 power or less have plus 1.5 power. So what that does essentially is Hidden Power, for instance, normally only does 60 base power. With that ability, it's going to be doing 90, which is huge. I can use any type of attack I want to, and it's going to be doing 90 damage. Has access to things like Shadow Ball, Thunderbolt. Now, the weird thing about this guy is he's actually physically offensive. Oh no, he's not. Who was I looking? I was thinking of somebody else, but you know what? That's even better. Special attack is actually greater than his base attack. For some reason, I thought it was the other way around. But anyways, either way, great access to great Pokemon. Dark Pulse, great stab move. Nasty Plot, I can use it to kind of build up if I want to. Parting Shot again, like Pancham, a great pivot move. Has U-Turn though, which is probably better, but because it does damage, but that lowers attack, so I have to debate which one of those two I would use. Fake Out's a great move. Can use that priority, flinches the Pokemon regardless, and I can switch out and do whatever I want to do at that point. Access to a lot of cool moves. I think he's going to be a great Pokemon to use. And since he has that ability Technician, things like Fake Out does additional damage as well, so it does 60 instead of just 40. So pretty cool move there. Let's see, what else would he be able to stack that with? That's pretty much it from all the attacks that I would use. Hidden Power and Fake Out. I don't think I would use it with anything else. I'm looking. Has Taunt. And nothing that's actually useful. I mean, he has other moves, but I can use those. And Pickup ability is useless here, obviously, when rattled. Raised with it's hit by a Bug, Dark, or Ghost type move. That could be interesting to use too against the right team. But then we have Cubone, our final Pokemon. You guys already know I love Cubone in Little Cup. He was available. I didn't know what to pick at this point, so I was like, what, we're just going to grab Cubone. Who knows, maybe I'll use him with Thick Club. He's the only Pokemon that can use Thick Club. And what that does is it doubles his attack. You know how tremendous that is? He has abilities like Rocket, who take recoil damage, Lightning Rod, immune to electric, and raises his special attack by 1%. And then, of course, I can't be hit by crits, which I'm not too worried about that. But I can use things like Double Edge. I can use things like, I don't think he can have Flare Blitz like Marowak can. If he could, that'd be tremendous. Access to Stealth Rock, Sword Stance, Thunder Punch, Parasong, which is interesting. Didn't even think about that. Knockoff, of course. Probably won't use him. If I do, it will be very limited. I don't have a Sticky Web user. I do have people that can use Thunder Wave, which I can use in conjunction with him, but I probably won't use him, and if I do, it won't be too much. But I do love Cubone. In fact, that logo with the bones, I had Cubone in mind when I made that. So, but anyways, guys, that's my team for the draft that we did, my draft analysis here. I think overall, I'm pretty satisfied with what we have, especially, I got the Chinchou first aid and Growlithe that I wanted in my mind. That was exactly what I wanted, and I got the Drillbur was a great bonus. Glad we have Fletchling, Trubbish. I mean, we have such great Pokemon. And like I said, the guys that I'm drafting with, didn't know them beforehand. Got to know them through Discord. That's where we've been chatting, setting everything up for this league. Very cool guys. I'm very excited to play games with them. And maybe we'll do, hopefully, after this draft league is over, maybe we'll do another one. Maybe we'll keep it going. Maybe we'll do a different type of draft besides the World Cup. I don't know. I would love to participate in that. But anyways, guys, if you guys liked this draft analysis video, if you guys enjoyed the team, the Pokemon that I picked and everything, please hit that like button. Comment down below what you guys think of the team. Who do you think is the MVP so far? I mean, obviously I haven't battled yet, but who do you think is going to be the MVP for my team this season? Do you guys think I made the right decision by drafting Chinchou as my first pick? That could be controversial, perhaps. I think I did, but who knows? Maybe you guys think otherwise. But anyways, guys, like I said before at the beginning of the video, my intro for this series for the little cup, I'm gonna represent the crocodiles. So we're gonna keep that intro, the Bullet Club intro that I made, but we're gonna use a shorter one, and I'm gonna play that shorter one at the end of this video. So for some chicken, that's actually 10 seconds versus the 20-second one I use at the beginning here. And then at the end of every video, I'll use that 20-second intro that I use this video at the outro, because it's just such a cool thing, right? But anyways, guys, until next time, I am the Maverick Mark Daniels bidding you a farewell, peace, and one love.